Welcome. Hello there, you found yourself on the tube that is you, within the group that is Evolve Within Energy. My name is Christine Marguerite, Love Evolve Energy, and this show is Energy Geek Speak. Welcome. And so it's morning for me while I'm making this for all you all, and it's been a little while since I've offered any kind of video here. I've made my way back to Narnia, which is amazing, during the autumnal season, and what I wanted to speak about, here we are in late 2020, and there's a lot that's been going on energetically. This is Energy Geek Speak, where we talk about things such as that, all the details and perhaps broader pictures of what's rumbling on the streets of Woo within the land of energy. So that's what I'm referring to here. So what I have noticed, pardon me, in my own practice for myself, and speaking to other light workers and energy workers, is, at this point you've probably heard this already, I'll mention it again, what's been happening is this deep unraveling. So you may think of it as around your central core, whatever depth and level of the core of your body, your energy system that is holding the scaffolding for your physical self, mental, emotional, energetic self. There's this clearing and cleansing that's happening of this old, deep, multi-dimensional energies, patterns, conditionings, and consciousnesses that do not align with where you are in the present and where that present is taking you into your future. And I'm not just speaking spiritual evolution. I'm also referring to how that evolving of your consciousness affects your mental state and therefore your emotional state and your physical state. We've talked a lot about, and many people have, grids, grid works, and the grids that are informing your physical, mental, emotional experience of yourself, beingness. Above grids, below grids, etc., etc. So what I want to point at today is not the grids so much, but these deeper flavors of experiences and cleansing. So you're not going bananas, or maybe you are. I am unable to assess that from where I sit right now. Chances are good, if you have found me, you're not completely bonkers bananas. And here's a little coffee to celebrate that. For a couple of weeks now, and here we are at the tail end of September, for almost, maybe since late August, we've been, if you're sensitive to energy or sensitive to your world, yourself, and HSP is what they're often called, highly sensitive person. You've noticed a lot of expansions and contractions physically, mentally, emotionally. A physical contraction, you know, that's a tight muscle. An expanded one is a loose, open, functioning muscle. If it's overly expanded, it may not function that well. So there's always balance. The same with emotional. You can think of maybe negative emotions, emotional states, fields that you move into are contracted. The emotional states that feel more expansive tend to be on the positive end. Fear, super contracty. Affection, super expandy. And again, a balance, and so on and so on. You may think of it, if you're from a Buddhist view or bent, as pleasant is expansive, unpleasant, contractive. Unless if it's overly expansive, that may be unpleasant. Somewhere in the middle is your pleasant state. So that's just a background for what I'm about to explain. Likely, what I've observed in myself, the people that I work with, and my colleagues, is that there are the really extremes within short periods of time of deep contraction, deep expansion. You may experience that emotionally, which is a kind of energy, as this low, this dark mood, and then this expansive, really light mood following, and wash, rinse, repeat again and again. If you look at it in that way, contraction, expansion, as I keep doing this, or you do that to a muscle, it's a kind of pump. Do you see this? Pump, a kind of pump. Contractions, birthing contractions, pump, and they release, pump, release, squeeze, release. It has had that quality to it in this very deep, almost abstract state. People have been calling some of the stuff that gets pumped out, past life, densities, things that do not support you, the individual God spark, divine spark, now and where its path is going. And so because it's not supportive, it's extraneous, it can act as an anchor and a density that's not serving, not supportive, kind of doesn't belong anymore. And so that's what gets purged out. It can be deep conditioned patterns that have associated in your deep mind, these patterns with memories of this life or another life. Parallel, perhaps a denser timeline future that you are no longer traversing. These kinds of things are what have been coming up. And what we were thinking, I have one friend who's on here, Lauren Enterfermo. She's a depth astrologer and energy worker and body of light, body of love person. Check out her website, Soulful Transformations, to find out other stuff about what she does. She talks a lot about the planets, and if you've heard any astrologer, you've heard them talk about what's happening planetarily. Has not happened in one case for millennia. Millennia. Welcome. Hello. Really interesting. So, let me have another sip here. Since the equinox, just a couple of days ago, there's been a little bit of release, steam release. Things have more movement, have more flow, which means more expansion. It's going to continue a little bit longer. I was surprised I mentioned the astrology because everything I talked about energetically with the deep stuff that's being purged, you're not crazy. Many people are experiencing this. I just want to affirm that again and again. And at some point, I'll just drop that word, that piece of vocabulary, the C word, the crazy word. Today, I haven't, and I radically accept that. So be it. one would have thought, because of what's happening energetically and planetarily, that this would have slowed down a couple of weeks ago. That has been not my experience. My experience has been other. It has continued and in some ways intensified just a bit. You know, these planets, when we think of retrograde, it's this, the reins are being pulled in. And then when it's going direct, the reins are loosed and the dam breaks and everything starts moving. It's still a little intense. There's still this kind of energy that's going on. Here's the piece of gold at the end of this. This is what I've observed. There's a connection between allowing and receiving. So what I've experienced when I've been in my personal energy work sessions for myself, and if you're an energy worker, you know that you do that every day, sometimes twice a day, depending on how long you do it and what's going on. So because my muggle life has been enormous with multiple moves, crazy, it's sometimes been 2 or 3 days before I've done a deep energy cleanse. And I will offer that I do just a basic cleanse daily, but a deeper cleanse once a week, maybe twice a week if something's big. As I came back to my practice and I hadn't done a deeper energetic assessment, clearing, cleansing, grounding for maybe 3 days in a row, I went into it and I was like, what? You've got to be joking. There's a lot to do here. There's a lot of deep stuff that wants to be moved, that is moving on its own, but with my conscious awareness upon it, will have an easier time and more can move. That more within what is safe, healthy, helpful for the entire system. And so what I noticed for the last 2 or 3 days, and I'll do one today, I haven't gone into it yet because I wanted to report on what's happened so far, is that the going into maybe a basic session with the 4th dimensional structures, the basic 7 to 10 chakra system, under other energies, the auras, the grounding, the connecting, all of those basics are true and they are there almost right away. I have maybe 5 minutes, I mean, who knows time really in those states, of that clearing, cleansing, grounding, and then whoosh, I'm right into this deeper stuff. So, because I have free will, I have a choice to make there. I can ignore the deeper flow that is wanting, the deeper flow being larger, deeper conditionings, multidimensional energy, past, future, parallel life, stories, all these energies, Akash level stuff even, which can be 7th dimension, 7th to 17th dimensional, wanting to move. So I perceive that, I'm open, I perceive that. I can either keep going with the basic cleanse that I know, or, as I spoke about in a previous Energy Geek Speak episode, I can do the triage method. This is what's arising, this needs attention. So what I do is I do the basics barely, I abandon that, and I go into the deeper work that must be paid attention to in that moment. And that's what I've been doing. So once I make the free will choice to say, okay, I am perceiving this, this needs attention. If I resist and force my will, because I have free will, I can do that, and say, wait a minute, I need to ignore this right now and do this other stuff. That's going to cause additional stress, not additional damage, but additional stress on my system, is what I perceive. And so I make the free will choice to allow. I allow what needs to happen with that energy work to arise. And I am taught at a certain point, I was releasing, working with the Syrian energies and the Arcturian surgeons. Even though I do have a group of 3 of Arcturians that I work some multidimensional deeper work with, at a certain point, all of that was washed away, and it was Elohim and archangelic divine force that was moving these energies, and the energy work took place within that realm. The only task of the free will being, that is Christine, was to allow. And in that allowing, I receive. In fact, allowing is a kind of receiving. Receiving, the action of receiving in its highest form, is a kind of allowing. And so my only practice was to allow and receive, allow, receive, and bear witness to what I could visually, clairvoyantly see within those self-energy work sessions. So, I offer this to you. I offer this to you. Is this helpful for you? Does this make sense to you? Is this the kind of stuff that is arising? If it is, it takes a lot of trust. Breathe, feel, know what is unconditional love, service to other vibration. Ask questions. If there's a consciousness energy coming in, you can ask, are you aligned with divine unconditional love, service to others? And they will say yes or no. If they are no, they may just drop away. If that is true, if there's a yes, keep going. Allow, receive. Surrender, offer yourself, receive. Allow the energy work to flow through you. That's the beginning stages of that kind of energy work. So I just wanted to offer that. If you go to some of my other places, my Love Evolve Energy Facebook group, Soulful Connections group, those are the places I speak about this kind of stuff as well. Those are the places within Love Evolve Energy Facebook that will give you a link to loveevolveenergy.com. The link is below here, where you can book a session with me. If you have questions about your own energy work that is doing this, ask me. I will help you find your specific, your unique process for what's happening right now through these intensities and how to align for you. If you need some more support, if you need some camaraderie on that, or if you simply want a session that works with this kind of energy, I'm your girl. There's a lot going on these days. Find me, book a session, do your own energy work, please, or find another energy worker that works and for you, makes sense to you. On Love Evolve Energy YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel, I have a ton, working towards a ton, of guided meditations that will assist and support you within this evolutionary journey. I wish you so much love and so much light. I believe in us, and I know we can do this. I know we can. I love keep going energy. Blessings to you. Comment below if this had meaning for you, if this is helpful. If you have any other questions, find me. Mwah! So much love to you.